For half a century, it's been the biggest annual sporting event in the world. It's seen in dozens of countries, broadcast in multiple languages, and media from all over the globe descend on one city to cover this lone event. It's the Super Bowl.
Robert Kraft, along with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, have their 27th playoff win and their 8th conference championship together. And they're bound for Super Bowl 52 in Minneapolis.
For the first time in 13 years, the Eagles are headed for the Super Bowl and a rematch with the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 52.
This year, it's in Minneapolis, and Mad Dog Unleashed is all over it. We're broadcasting all week from Radio Row to get you set for Super Bowl 52 between the Eagles and Patriots. Here's your host of Mad Dog Unleashed, Christopher Russo.
As we begin hour 2, it's great to have you with us here today. Thank you, Rena, as we chat with Colin Schmeling back in the house and Ray Martell in store today, Eddie Erickson and Billy Z, all the folks here. We're in Bloomington as we kick off hour 2. Here's Charles Haley. Boy, did I love him as a player. 5 Super Bowls. A lot of guys didn't have that many. They've been tied now, Brady and everything else. 2 with the Niners, 3 with Dallas. He's got good things here with the Wounded Warrior Amputee football fund. He's got 5 Doberman Pinschers?
5 of them.
Oh, my goodness. We'll get into that. Blue Buffalo, the nation's leading natural pet food company, is making a great deal with the Wounded Warriors. He's got BJ there. We're going to talk to him here, too, but we first have a chance to talk to our pal, Mr. Haley. Charles, how are you?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. You were, I'll tell you, you reminded me a lot of, I know you play a little linebacker, too. And he was gone by the time you got there, about 7 or 8 years. You always reminded me a lot of Fred Dean.
Oh, God.
Did you hear that comparison over the years?
Hey, when I first got there, Fred had just retired. And they kept telling me, what Fred did. And I'm going like, Fred Dean used to do dumbbells, 100-pound dumbbells. I can't do 10. I say, you know what? I'm going to do Charles' way. Fred did his way. And, and so I got to meet Fred when I went into the Hall of Fame, and God, he's a wonderful person.
I know he was an undersized defensive lineman. He used quick. He wasn't 300 pounds. He used quickness and all those kinds of things, and that's kind of what you did in a large part of your career.
That is it. You got to use the skills that God gave you, and my strength was my quickness, and and then catching guys catching guys off guard, and then pick them up, put them on their back. So you know what? And plus, I just love the game. I love the hand-to-hand combat in there. So
you went to James Madison, not exactly a football factory.
What are you talking about? We're a powerhouse. Let's see, Scott Norwood, Gary Clark, me, and then I can't think.
Gary Clark, he was a good receiver. He went to James Madison too. I saw Gary Clark play. He went to the USFL. I saw Orlando all the time.
Yeah,
and he was a Redskin. Did you get? You're from Gladys, Virginia. You must have been recruited. Were you recruited by a lot of schools? Out of high school? Two? Liberty University and James Madison University. Oh, my gosh.
And I went over to Liberty. They had dresses down to their knees, to their ankles. I went up to Madison. They had miniskirts on. I said, I'm going to Madison.
Were you an undersized player in high school, and that's the reason why you ended up at James Madison? Well, how could a guy like you with the great ability, you're in the Hall of Fame, nobody saw this great untapped ability in high school?
They did when I got to the East-West All-Star game. But before that, no, and it was too late. I made a commitment to Madison.
So you stuck with him,
and I stuck with him.
So your coming out party was in San Francisco. That's in San Francisco, right?
Yes.
So that was your coming out party where you played well in that game.
You talking about
in the East-West game?
Oh yeah, I lit it up, but I lit it up at tight end. So teams wanted me to go play at tight end. Hey, I didn't like getting hit. It hurt.
You want to hit, not be hit.
Yes.
Now, what number were you? A third-round pick from San Francisco? Fourth-round pick. So your first camp, they've already won a couple titles. You got Montana sitting there. Walsh is gone, right? It was right after.
No.
Oh, Walsh was there for that last year.
For 2 years.
Oh, he's had Walsh. Now, he was a genius at finding these players. Rice, Mississippi Valley State. We go on. Montana, third-round pick.
Yeah.
So you had to like the idea that you went to San Francisco. A, they were good. B, they had the quarterback. And C, you knew he was very good at giving those kind of guys an opportunity.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. my parents, we only had one television, and we supposed to be out the house. So every once in a while, we got to look at Pittsburgh Steelers game. I had no idea who Joe Montana was. I went that first preseason game. I opened up that program, and I was reading through it, and I saw Joe, and it was like 15 pages. Then I saw Ronnie, I saw Jerry Rice, and I had to get up and look at these guys, make sure that was them.
So you did not see them play in high school or anything else because you had the one TV and the parents got you the hell out of the house?
You know, that's the way it is in the country.
And Gladys, where is Gladys, Virginia, anyway?
Near Lynchburg.
So it's in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere.
You're not going to sit there 7 hours watching football on Sunday afternoons.
Oh, we in church all day. I don't know what you're talking about.
I get it.
We're Southern Baptists. Hey,
you're in church. I get it. And nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being in church.
You come home for about 5 minutes, then you got to go back to church.
Yeah, Sunday's church day.
Yes, it is.
And a big meal.
Yes, it is.
That's what Sunday's about. I'm with you on that. All right, you go to San Francisco, first training camp. You're the fourth round pick. So you're not assured of making a team. So you got to be a little nervous for that first training camp, right?
No.
No, you thought you were that confident?
I love the game. I wasn't going to let anybody take away my opportunity. I realized that my weight, I walked in at
230, 240?
No, about 200 pounds.
Oh, really? Oh, my God.
And so I had to, but you know what? People always worried about my weight. They got to get through my strengths. They got, wait, how you gonna stop me when I'm quicker than a hiccup? You know, and you know, I was violent. You know, because if I can't beat you with my equipment, I think I'm getting straight in your butt.
Yeah, I get it. Did you start your first game?
No, I didn't. The guy before me played like 3 or 4 plays, and I played the rest.
So right away, you were a big factor on the team. Now, your first year was when you beat Cincinnati, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're on the. Now, you did a good job defensively in that game. They had the one kickoff return.
Yeah.
You were in great shape. Boomer was hurt.
Right.
You did a great job. Now, you're on the field late in the game. It's 16-13 Cincinnati. I think that's what the score was. 20-16.
No, it was. We were down 4 points.
4 points, yeah, because he had to go down the field.
Right.
And here comes Montana.
Right.
And he registers. Now, if you didn't know Montana in July, you knew him in January.
You know that's right.
And he takes the team right down the field. Give me thoughts being on that sideline and watching that drive.
I was I had my hands in my face in my hands. I was going like, God, why did you bring me here to lose? And the next thing I heard was cheering coming. I forgot that I had Jerry Rice, John Taylor, Roger Craig, and Brent Jones. I forgot that. So he was dinking and dunking, and then all of a sudden, boom, touchdown. It taught me to believe in team 100%.
That game was very significant.
Yes,
instead of worrying just about your defense and your offensive opponent,
right.
That game you realize you're not winning unless you get everybody making a contribution.
Correct.
That was a great win. Now, the next year, you dominated Denver. And I was at that game. That was in New Orleans, and I know Madden, who we talked to all the time, told my radio partner, myself at the time, this game is not going to be competitive. San Francisco is going to blow them out. So you were pretty confident against the Broncos that year, correct?
Yeah, because what people don't understand, we play each other during the regular season, and Coach did not change up the game plan. They did the same thing. They expected Elway to make big plays, and we wasn't going to give that up. And and defensively, we just went at it.
That's the George Seifert team too. You had Seifert coaching that team.
Yeah.
That was a dominant team. Montana had a great game. That was a great team. And then you end up down the road going to Dallas. So you play 2 years. You play 3 or 4 years in San Francisco. You got Montana, and then you go to Dallas and you got Aikman.
Yeah.
So if anybody knows you got to have a great quarterback to win, it's Charles Haley, correct?
Yeah. They told me get the hell out of there. Don't come back.
Yeah. You had a little falling out there with San Francisco.
Yeah. So when I get there, I meet Troy. He's out there throwing the ball, and I walk over. I say, hey, you know Joe Montana. So he goes back. He was throwing the football in those little hole things. So he goes back and he throws it in the right one. And I'm going like, anybody could do it once. And then he went back again. He threw it straight down the middle into that. And I shut up after that.
Yeah, and you dominated the Bill. You dominated Buffalo. You dominated. You know, Pittsburgh was a close game, but you played. You know, you were the better team. That Dallas team, and you had a great offense.
Yes,
but you had Wannstedt coaching you on defense. You had Jeff Coates sitting there. You had enough talent on defense to do a nice job.
God, we had a ton of talent. I've never seen that much talent amassed ever. And you know, we took on Jimmy's identity as players, tough-nosed, hard, and cocky.
Arrogant. Right.
Hey.
He had that at Miami, but he won. So it's not cocky if you win.
Right. You're right.
And you got the 5. Does any of the 5 mean more to you than the other 5 rings? You got 5 rings. Not many people in the history of the NFL have that. You got 5. Is anyone extra special?
Not extra special.
They're about the same.
They're about the same.
I mean, that's a hell of a life. You know, a lot of Baptist church, you must have said something right hitting your knees because
my mama prayed me into heaven. Hello.
I prayed you into heaven.
Because I'm going to tell you, I've been in hell for a while, so now I'm good.
You feel good? You had a downward trend in your life for a while?
Yeah, well, you know what? When you go to the Cowboys and they worship you, you know, when you got that star on your helmet, it makes you forget about the values you had and you know, it costs you a lot. It cost me a wife, a divorce, you know, and
got a little cocky, a little arrogant, thought you were a little bigger than life, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I am bigger than life because my head's shaped like a bullet because of my damn big shot. So what you think? Hey,
I loved you as a player. Now you got 5 rings and Hall of Fame.
Yes.
What means more to you?
The 5 rings.
Does
because I believe in team. Somebody gave me a Hall of Fame ring.
You 45 guys. Yeah.
You know, and that's what people don't understand is you got a guy beside you that's bleeding, that's hurt, you know, me, and we keep picking each other up, you know, and that means a ton to me.
Where do you think of Brady? You want to put him ahead? You got to put him ahead of Montana right now, do you not?
Hell no. Why would you put anybody in this generation ahead of anybody who played back when we played? You know, I could take 2.5 steps and plant you and don't get a flag.
You can't do that now. They protect the quarterback.
And then what you see the quarterbacks do? They stand there. No, they can't get hit like that.
Good point. Excellent. The quarterback in your day had to be a little worried for his life.
Because he see color coming out of the corner of his eye. He's running because he know he's going to get planted. But
not so much today. It helps the quarterback be able to. But you have to be impressed with what you see with Brady.
Yeah, I was impressed last Super Bowl. Because I left at halftime.
Oh, you did?
Started driving back home to Dallas, and I got halfway, and there's a dead spot where you can't get the radio to work. And then when I finally got it to work, I said, holy crap.
28-3 down. God. Excellent job. Now, you do a great job with your doggies, and you got the blue. I get the same dog food, and you got BJ over here. BJ, welcome. Nice to have you with us here. An amputee. This is in Afghanistan?
Iraq, 2004, actually.
No, 2004.
Thanksgiving night. Yeah.
Oh, Thanksgiving night.
Roadside bomb. Killed my gunner, Ryan Contafio. He's the C and the Crows on my leg there. So we lost Contafio, Amy O'Donnell, Warrens, and Simon. Coming back. But
close friends of yours.
That's right. They live forever on my leg, and we talk about them every chance we get, all of our team. So, we got the amputee football game tonight against NFL alums, NFL greats like Charles Haley here. And this is my 6th Super Bowl coming out here doing the Radio Row, the craziness, and playing against these NFL legends that have been gracious enough to share the field with us. We grew up watching them Saturdays and Sundays when we were in Iraq, Afghanistan, any of the bases around the world.
They have the games on, right?
Radio. We didn't have the games in Iraq. We had our own football. And so when they weren't shooting at us, we were throwing the football around.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Now, did you see 12 Strong at the movie?
I did, and I was very impressed with it.
I didn't see it, so give me a little rundown on that, PJ.
Well, I read the book, and I actually got to meet the guy, the head captain once, and it just goes to show what's possible. Like Charles was just talking about, when you look to the man to your left and the man to the right, nothing else matters. It doesn't matter. You're going to get through it. We're going to get off this field. I heard Charles say in the numerous interviews, like the guys in the defense would look at it, we're going to get off this field. We would tell each other, we're going to get home. We're going to shoot the bad guys. We're going to protect the good guys, but we're going to go home, all of us. And if you don't, you're not dead here because you're going to live forever in our hearts, in our minds, and in our stories that we tell.
Do you, we all know Vietnam. I talked to a lot of Vietnam War vets. I did a lot of things on that with that Ken Burns documentary, which was as good as you did a great job. Not the same for you, the veterans in Iraq. You guys get praised. You get a lot more attention than the poor guys did in the 1960s.
But if it wasn't for those poor guys in the 1960s taking the spit, taking the hate, but still working to make sure that we had the benefits that we have when we got here, we wouldn't have that.
Well, and I you know what? Before 9/11, if you was in the military, you was not looked upon greatly.
True.
That's
after 9/11,
different story.
Everything now is military. So those guys that was there before then, they see things different. But yet, my problem is that we as Americans, we don't look at the freedom we have and who's keeping that freedom for us. You know, we take it for granted that,
right.
we're gonna be, everything will be all right. But you know what? It ain't gonna be all right without these guys.
Were you turned off, BJ, by the kneeling this year?
You know what? No. At first I was angry. I'm not gonna lie. I was angry. I was mad because I didn't think it was the right place because football was our escape, right? This is
nobody wants to go to a football game to be protested to.
However, I looked into it and I watched what Mr. Kaepernick did, even when he wasn't playing, and the amount of his own money he's doing, and he's working with prisoners because we have 3 million people locked up in prison. And the sad thing about it is when they're done paying their time,
they haven't had the proper technique.
Right. They're still not forgiven their sins. I mean, their votes are still gone. They can't get jobs because they have a felony on their record. What's the point? We need to change the policies, and it's not the police are doing the best they can with the policies that they're given. In the 1990s, when the Clintons came out with 3 strikes and you're out and mandatory sentencing, we take the power away from the judges and the law enforcement that are on the ground that can make a decision. To understand that I've gotten second chances in my life. When I came back, I was a mess. I was mad. I was angry. I was no longer a Marine. I got a DUI. One of the things that woke me up, I would have lost my job with Kraft Foods. I was a sales manager. But I reached out to my company commander. I reached out to people I knew. People wrote letters. I went to the judge and I was like, let me go break rocks for 100 days or whatever. Just let me prove to you that I will never do this again. And I got that second chance. But there's a lot of people that aren't as articulate as I am, that don't have the same support systems that I had with my family and with friends. Well, if it worked for me, it can work for anybody. And when you look at, I knew drug dealers growing up. They're entrepreneurs. We've got some serious human capital locked up in these warehouses across the country that we need to figure out a better plan, because this is the land of the free, and it doesn't work if you got 3 million people in prison.
And you know what? My thing is, if I was playing here, I would have talked to the other team. We'd have walked out on the middle of the field, shook hands, and left. After that, guess what? Everybody in the world know what we stood for. When you got only 1 or 2 guys kneeling and the rest of your team standing, I'm like I said, I'm about team.
Yeah.
Before you take a stance like that, you got to make sure everybody's included. That voice is heard. And you know what? Then you make a thing. Because you know what? My thing, I deal with poverty and education. I go to after school. I do after school programs for kids in Dallas. And and I tell the owners, put $1 million up, and then tell those players, go in the community and see what happens. I don't believe any of them would do it. It's easy to kneel. Hey, but me, I had to get my damn hands dirty. They're gonna know I go down there. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. You know what? I've done so much dumb, and I lived through it. I'm gonna do some good the rest of my life.
So you got an appreciation for BJ here with this program that you're with the Wounded Warriors, right?
Yeah, I do. Cause you know what? I was in Dallas and they were doing a ride, and they said Wounded Warrior. I didn't realize. I got there, I saw guys 1 arm, 1 leg, no arms, and they riding bicycles, and I'm going. So I had to get up and do a talk, man. Hey, it got too emotional. I had to just get up, walk off the stage, because I couldn't believe these guys were doing that. And then back then my back was killing me, and I was whining about that. And I'm seeing guys that has all
Gave
these
you a different
things.
appreciation.
Yes, it did.
BJ, go ahead.
Yeah, it's it takes everything. Freedom isn't just protected by the military. Freedom has to be protected by everyday civilians participating in a democracy. It saddens me every time I see the local reports where you only had like 115 people show up to vote for your local town councilman. That people are putting all this emphasis on who's the president. That's just one cog in this bureaucratic system of freedom. We need people to pay attention.
You need more involvement.
More involvement.
Yep.
We gotta understand that there's only so many. One of Charles's favorite words is shit. There's only so many shits you can give, and you gotta use them equitably. We can't just go flying off the handle over every little thing that hurts somebody's feelings. We need to actually sit down, have some hard conversations, make some hard changes. But we also, one thing that I learned is I had to look in the mirror and I had to pull my own head out of my own butt in order to get my life right. And that's when I noticed that life was getting better. And if you listen to Charles Haley's Hall of Fame speech, he tells you the same thing about, dealing with a mental illness. And everybody in this country has a time when they need help, when they're down. You got to be able to reach out, but you also got to take ownership. I'm not a victim, and I know one of the guys that most inspires me in the veteran world is Travis Mills. He's one of 5 living quadruple amputees. He has no arms and no legs due to a bomb, and the first thing he'll tell you is, "I'm not a victim."
Yeah.
That's pretty. Yeah. Nobody's going to complain about anything with a guy like that. Good.
Right.
Charles, great job.
Hey, thank you,
very
sir.
much. You had a great career. BJ, it's a pleasure to see you. Wounded Warriors, keep up the good work with that.
Tonight at Concordia, we got the game, 6 to 8.
And don't forget Blue Buffalo.
That's
Buy
right.
it.
I have it. I do it. Well done, Charles Haley, and a Wounded Warrior there. BJ, we continue here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Right